Welcome to Soccer As We Like It, the Man United Director. And today we are celebrating Man United have gone to Wembley. And joining me today from Denver, former Houston Red Army fan, but he's still we still are brother. Louis, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tim.
And you know, Joe, we haven't seen Joe in a long time. Joe, welcome to the show, Houston Red Army. Well, as we all know, Man United have gone to Wembley. So this is all I will say. Man United are going to Wembley. 6 years was the last time we went to Wembley to play in a League Cup final, any local domestic final. But 6 years, it's a long time. Everything we won was all under Mourinho. We've had Solskjaer, Carrick, Ragnick, and no trophies. But now there looks like there's going to be a trophy. So I'm going to say, we're going to Wembley. We're going to Wembley. We're going to Wembley. We're famous Man United, and we're going to Wembley. 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 We're the famous Man United, and we're going to Wembley. Dun, dun. Right. Let's get ready to the show. You're singing the next one. You keep laughing. Right. Man United 2, Nottingham Forest 0, aggregate score 5-0, changed lineup. I thought the lineup was good today. He didn't put too many players who could have done the rest. What did you guys think of the lineup? Tom Heaton starting? Joe?
I thought it was pretty strong, to be honest. Back line and the midfield, part of our starting 11. The only changes was Garnacho, actually, to be honest, right? So he didn't want to risk anything. But man, I kind of feel like I trust Ten Hag no matter what, right? So like if this is Ole, I would have had questions about the lineup. I would have had questions about starting Casemiro. I would have had questions about not like this seemed like it was been a good game to have
Maguire and
Lindelof. I think this is the kind of game that would have suited them, but everything went well. Nobody got injured. So yeah, we're good, right? Another shutout for David De Gea as he creeps up to get Schmeichel's record. Should have been had it if it wasn't for freaking pretty much a decade of chuckleheads at the center back position. He went straight from it's crazy. He went straight from Phil Jones and Chris Smalling to Lindelof and Maguire, man. And he still is like pretty close to on the record. So that's definitely more props to David De Gea. But it is what it is.
Right, Louis. When you saw that lineup today, were you confident? I mean, that's why we had the 3-0 lead.
I was very confident in the lineup. I think it's like we said last time out. It's very clear that Ten Hag is interested in winning a trophy early on.
Right.
So it's I like that Rashford was dropped. Give him somewhat of a rest. I like that De Gea was dropped. It makes the back four makes sense. It's a very strong back four. I think he could have gotten the job done with a Lindelof and Maguire pairing. Or maybe one or the other, and then do like a 45-minute swap there. I would have liked to see Bruno get dropped, but we've had a couple of issues there as far as who comes in for the number 10. Even though I do think Sancho did well in the number 10 role while he was there. Very, very basic. He didn't really have to do much. Would like to see Casemiro dropped. Didn't drop Casemiro, but ultimately. This objective is done. We've reached the final. And like you said, reaching the final is nice, but the goal is definitely to win trophies, to win silverware. So these next 6 games between now and the actual final, it's going to be an extreme test for this squad.
Wow. Right. So, Joe, I think the biggest check came when Martial came on. And Sancho came on, and he scored. You could see that it's like this overwhelming weight just came off, and you could see the way he was. You could see that smile coming. He just got a weight lifted over his shoulder. Because that pass was made for Rashford to score, but it deflected and came back to him, and he just one time. So how did you think Rafa did today? I mean, Martial did today, considering he hasn't played in a while.
I mean, Martial's Martial, man. I feel like, you know, I kind of have mixed feelings, right? Because we're kind of like on stage one of the cycle again, right? Like we've all been here before. It's, you know, gets an injury, out for a few games, then he comes back in, like, you know, he doesn't start, but he comes off the bench, does well, assists, goals. He does it for 2 or 3 games. Then we think, all right, maybe he's ready for prime time. We'll bring him in, does 90 minutes here, does 90 minutes here. Play kind of falls off a little bit. A couple more games of that, and then he gets injured again.
So you don't want to, you're trying not to get too excited and get carried away.
Nah,
That he's
like
back.
he's a pack of like fucking. I felt the same way about Eric Bailly. I felt the same way about Twan Sevi. These guys are just like they're made of glass, and it's unfortunate because these are guys
What
that are
Phil
like
Jones?
Phil Jones, man. Phil Jones is just like,
Hey, y'all
I
better
don't-
put
I
some
don't-
respect on Superman's name.
yo, Phil Jones is just like an enigma, man. It's just like it's not even reality. He's like the Babadook, you know. He's like a fairy tale. He's like what is this thing? Like, why does this thing exist? Like, I don't
he's
even
a myth.
understand. I don't understand how this is a thing.
He's played
Like-
13 games in 2 years.
That's wild. Like, I just don't understand. Like, there's so much going on in the world, right? This is like, it's one of those kind of like, it's like one of those like fucking like 7 wonders of the world or some shit like that. You know, it's like, how is Phil Jones still gainfully employed by Manchester United Football Club? You know, so but like the team
He
got
played
so much
under
more to
Fergie.
do.
He played under Fergie, Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Mourinho, Solskjaer, Carrick, Rannick, and now
It's wild, man. It's wild.
9 Man United managers.
Considering we have left we have let certain players that love this club to fucking death leave. People like Ander Herrera, you know, that
Mhm.
left the club that they really wanted to like, you know, do shit for this club, but the club just didn't support them or didn't back them.
And they kept
You know,
Phil Jones.
And then they kept Phil Jones. Like Phil Jones, I felt like, yo, more than I guess at the time, the priority was maybe Maguire, get him out the club. But I feel like this club, it's like Phil Jones is like kind of like our curse. It feels like a curse. It's like this totem that is like that's been planted at Old Trafford, and we will never get ourselves to glory until that totem leaves Old Trafford, because he is all encompassing a representative of the fuckery that has happened. Excuse my
Woodward,
my
that
French.
was all Woodward, giving him a
Like
6-year
this is
contract.
all like this is a monument to the reign of the Glazers. Phil Jones, he is a monument. Like no joke. They should erect a statue of Phil
But
Jones.
the statue should be made near the rehabilitation center. This guy was always here. They need to they need to rename the gym area where they get the players rehab, the Jones Center.
I mean,
seriously,
I know
he was here 2011, 2013, 2014, 2016, 2008. Different kits, different pictures, same cycle. He's still riding the same bike to get to Garrick.
I wouldn't even go as far as to do that. I would keep him like maybe 100 yards away from Fergie's statue, because like where like the idea of statues is to just let everybody know it's monumental. It's like to let everybody know how great this team can be, right?
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, we also need to be
7 managers have gone. He's not there. He's still there. 7 managers and he's still there.
I say we need to erect a monument to remind us of how far we can fall if we let it happen. You know, that's why I say like Phil Jones needs his own
If
statue.
if I may
Go ahead,
interject,
man.
because both of you are, first of all, you're saying his name wrong. It's not Phil Jones. It's Premier League champion Phil Jones. You put some respect on his name.
Hey,
You put some respect.
Hey, what can I say?
Yeah, definitely. Look, I don't. The fact that Phil Jones is still here is obviously a problem, and it makes zero sense. But don't go blaming Phil, man. Phil didn't do anything wrong.
I know he's still. Hey, the guy really wants to play.
He didn't sign it up.
You're not getting it.
He's the
He's
Ferguson
trying his
pick,
best
so you
to
put some
get
respect
fit.
on his name.
Listen.
Put some respect on Superman's name.
Listen. How many players have left this? How many players have left this club? One particular high-profile one that just left. How many players have left this club when they felt like they weren't getting enough playing time and they felt like they needed to move? Right? Phil Jones.
That's not Phil Jones' fault. That is not his fault. He is nobody's master but his own.
Bro.
He loves his club.
He loves his
offered
club.
A 6-year contract, and he wanted to stick around.
So he wants to see his contract out.
I would have done the exact same thing.
And he doesn't want to play for anybody else. He wants to play for this team only.
Respect on his name. Not respect.
I mean,
respect on his name.
I get it. I love this club too. But man, legacies, like his legacy, like
his legacy is Premier League championships.
That's right. And 7 managers have left, and he's still there.
You know who was in the squad.
Right.
You know who was in the squad. The last time we went to Wembley, the last time we won silverware, you know who was in the squad? Superman Phil Jones. Superman Phil Jones and David De Gea.
And 2018 against Chelsea, that calamitous decision he made and let Hazard go past him, and De Gea could see that this guy he's not going to catch him. De Gea stays on his line. Me and Joe were in that the King's Court watching that game. De Gea can see that, this guy ain't going to make it. Hazard is going to come to me. He stays on his line. He doesn't go out to close the angle. And obviously, Lord Jones has nothing else to do but to bring him down. And it's a penalty, and that's the only goal of the game. And we're done. Someone sent me the video today, and I like you. Oh, damn it. Oh, no, that was just messed up. Right. Back on track.
Yeah, Louis, we went down the rabbit hole there. And,
so with this game now, right? And you saw that lineup. When Martial came on now, he scored. What was going through your mind when you saw Martial come on and he scored?
It's no surprise to us that Martial can score goals. I think it's no question that he is a very talented player, that he does offer a lot. But the problem is, like Joe said, it's consistency, right? And there is an injury issue there. I think there's a mental health issue there that he's spoken about briefly in the past. I mean, this is someone who, look, we're happy to have him now to come on and score goals as a substitute. I think that's very much something that we need. But long term, in the Ten Hag era, it's very clear that his time is probably coming to an end for us. In the summer, I would like to see a lot of people move. He's definitely probably one of them. And it's not, it's not kick you out the door and send you on your way. It's, it's a hug and a handshake. Thank you for everything that you've done. But we need consistency in this football club. Consistency wins trophies. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's where he is as a football player.
Okay, so he scored. Then Fred scored. Second goal, 2 goals in 2 games. Fred has scored.
He's everywhere. He's Fred. He's Fred.
I mean, Fred is doing it now. He's like getting into the box more.
Stop.
What did he do wrong now?
I'm not.
If he doesn't score,
you complain.
Yo, when he doesn't score, you complain. If he doesn't go to the box, you complain. He scores now, you're complaining. What do you want from this guy?
I'm not. No, we have a standard, right?
He scored 2 goals in 2 games. Even did the Brazilian back kick out last week.
In both plays, like it was like placed on his.
Oh, the goals weren't good enough, Tim. The goals weren't good enough.
Yeah, not good
enough. Come on, man.
Yeah, they weren't good enough.
Oh man.
Look, Fred is
maybe against Crystal Palace, you do a bicycle kick. Oh, it wasn't as good as Ronaldo's one or Rooney's one.
You do realize it was his fault. He's the reason why Arsenal scored that last goal, right? Did you
Arsenal,
realize that?
the third goal,
Yeah.
Arsenal's third goal.
Third goal.
The
No,
first
that was
the number one team in the Premier League, Arsenal. That's who you talking about?
Oh, yo,
no, that was
Tim,
that ball came from
Tim,
the that
eject
ball
his
came from
ass,
the
man.
that ball came from the
No,
left. That
Tim,
ball
you
came
need
from
to
the left.
no. There needs to be a timeout. There needs to be a timeout for Louis, man.
Go ahead
Louis over
and
there.
block that goal, buddy. Go ahead and block that goal.
Come on now.
Let's insert you into that situation, man. Let's let you make the right decision.
So that Arsenal third goal came from our left side, which is our right side. It came down the left, and they put the ball in the box, and that guy did that. I can't remember. I went blank. At that point,
I think a player like Fred is very much built for these types of games, right? It's Nottingham at home. We're 3-0 up already on aggregate. You need a utility player to come in and work hard. And he does that for you. Is he technically the best? Clearly not. Is he probably moving on in the next year or so? Probably, and it's probably for the best. But
so you wouldn't sell him this summer? Would you sell him this summer? Would you sell Fred this summer?
If the opportunity arose, I think that's the best thing to do. Again, look, we are still, and this is where it becomes dangerous as a fan base when we do have this type of success, right? But we are still in the necessary changes that Ranić talked about, right? When he talked about open heart surgery, when he talked about 10 players out, 10 players in, we're still in the middle of that, and we're going to be in that for a while because we don't buy players.
But with the new ownership, that might all change, right? That could all change.
If new ownership, if the proper new ownership, right? There's a lot of ifs there. If we sell it to a Manchester United fan, lifelong Manchester United fan, maybe. If we sell it to Amazon, I don't know what could happen. If we don't sell at all, it's also a possibility. So, I mean, we're very much in the middle of that. I think Ten Hag spoke about it a little bit after the game. He was like, we're in the cup final. He didn't like the first half. He said the tempo was too slow. I agree. I thought it was
they played very cagey.
Yeah, they're playing careful, professional. Against.
They did have the chances, or all those chances were there second half. I think the only second half.
All the chances were second half. The best chances in the first half were for Forest, and and we kind of got lucky with a couple of those. And Heaton had some good moments in the first half. But it's that's. We're still trying to rise to the level where this is, we're still playing high tempo. We're still playing very aggressively. We're still playing very attractive football, even though we are, in the second leg, 3-0 up, come in, do the business. And, we see there's teams across Europe, where we say, I would be afraid to play their second team, right? They have very strong benches. They have lots of players, lots of rotation. Obviously, Chelsea's one of them now, buying the entire farm. But I mean, that's the place that we're trying to get to, right? But in the interim, these types of games are still important games, and 100%. Players like Fred, who come in, for an injured Eriksen, or if Eriksen was fit, I would hope that Eriksen would be dropped for a game like this.
Well, Scooby-Doo is also injured.
I'm sorry?
Scooby-Doo is also injured as well.
And Scooby-Doo's injured, right? So, you have to have somebody that comes in and basically cleans up shop and gets the job done. I think Fred is very much that type of player. So again, when he does leave, hopefully he leaves, hugging a handshake. Thanks for everything. Longest standing Brazilian for Manchester United. Go on your way.
I guarantee you he's not leaving this summer. Mark my word, he ain't going this summer.
Yeah, probably not.
He's a utility player.
Yeah. Okay, so as long as it's him or McTominay, one of them got to go.
Yeah, Louis calls McTominay.
Luckily, the interest there is for McTominay, right? Apparently, there's been some inquiries. Apparently, people are, sniffing around for McTominay. So hopefully that does happen.
Right. So as you all know, United are going to Wembley. We're beating Nottingham Forest. But the games are coming thick and fast. We've got Crystal Palace on Saturday, Leeds on Wednesday. We're playing Leeds back-to-back. Leeds on Wednesday, Leeds on Saturday.
4 days apart. 4 days apart from the Leeds game.
That's ridiculous. But Then we have Barcelona,
Yeah.
Leicester, then Barcelona. Then we
Yeah.
have the League Cup final somewhere in those lines. Ah, okay,
Yeah,
this
it's
corner.
not
I was
gonna
gonna
be
ask Joe. United signed Marcel Sabista. What's your take? Quickly, what do you think?
Man, my take is like just like 99% of all the motherfuckers that don't watch the Bundesliga. I don't know who this guy is. I've never watched him.
He's a good player.
I did.
Did you ever
Sports
remember
Science,
him?
man.
He
I
used
did
to
my
play for
YouTube
RB
scouting.
Leipzig.
Say what?
He used to play for RB Leipzig, and he was in that
Yeah,
team
yeah.
that destroyed us when Ole was manager, when we lost in Champions League 3-1, 3-2, after we considered 3 goals in 5 minutes. In
I
that
like
second
that
leg.
he's press resistant. I like that he's got a good form of passing the ball. He's got a good vision. He's got a nice little outside of the box shot.
Yes, he can shoot.
It's a really good. I was worried that we would get something more like McTominay or something more like Fred, but I'm glad that we basically got like a stronger, faster, younger Ericsson in a way. But we'll
Right.
see. We'll see
Yeah,
how.
we'll see. I hope he might have a part to
Yeah.
play on
Yeah.
Saturday against Crystal Palace. We don't know. But Chelsea just destroyed they just literally completely changed the name of the game when it comes to January transfer windows, giving players
Yeah,
8-year deals to break the money in little deposit, little installment.
they're future proofing the squad. It makes sense. Next, by summer, okay, think about it. If they had tried to get any of these players in the summer, most of these players would not have gone to Chelsea, even with the money, because Chelsea is no longer in the Champions League. So they're future proofing themselves. He's getting all the players. Hopefully, right? It would be mad if they're getting all these players without consulting Graham Potter. If these are not Graham Potter's moves, this is madness. This is going to be like a documentary somewhere. Because this is going to implode. Like this whole
they still got Bamiyang, they still got Raheem Sterling. They got some good. They still got Felix.
Yeah, Felix. Loan. Potter's got a lot of tools. But at the same time, he's got a lot of egos in that locker room now. Like a whole lot of egos. Like you couldn't imagine a more opposite position for someone like Graham Potter to be in, coming from Brighton, a team that has almost no egos, no budget, to he's basically Willy Wonka. He's the kid in Willy Wonka, and fucking Top Bowley is Willy Wonka. He's got free reign in the chocolate factory. He's just
taking everything.
Yeah,
I'll have that. I'll have that.
Yeah. So it's a lot. I hope he can persevere, but I definitely think if he gets his style of play situated, everybody's talking about Chelsea being in 10th place now. Yeah, but these purchases, these acquisitions are not about right now.
No,
it's about next season.
Yes.
Chelsea's already started rebuilding, and everybody's thinking about they've already written this season off.
Yeah.
At the very best, at the very least, they're probably thinking, okay, with these players, let's see what we can do in the Champions League. Maybe they'll go, to a semifinal, whatever. Give it a nice go, and they're out of most competitions right now. They're acquiring players, and they're assessing who is going to be sold during the summer. This is cutthroat, and I would imagine if he is a good businessman, Bowley, that's exactly what they're doing right now. I see a lot of. I would imagine there's a lot of people that's going to exit Stamford Bridge this summer.
I hear you, Louis. Back to our game today. Today's game, right? I mean, it's a home game. It was a full capacity. I mean, it was not N.Forest. I didn't expect them to be packed. I didn't think that they'll have a full capacity. They had 76,000 in there, and it's a home game, but it's Nottingham Forest. And I mean, it's a semi. The game was already done.
I mean, part of that is we have the greatest fan base in the world. The other part of that is, I mean, this is, as you said, it's a long time coming for us. I think that a lot of people wanted to be a part of, the group that does send us into the finals. I think a lot of people are, this is Man United fans are buzzing in a way that we haven't been for, the last, 9 years, to be frank about it. I think we're playing a very attractive style of football. I think people are shocked about how quickly Ten Hag has been able to kind of turn around this squad and really put out a product that looks like it can be successful and that can win trophies. My only fear, is how the fan base reacts in the second half of the season if fatigue does set in, if we do run into those roadblocks. With how many players are out for the season? 2 or 3 now? Is
we have Delo's coming back soon. But Van de Beek and
Eriksen's out for the season, and
Phil Jones is out for the season.
Yeah, all right. So you run the risk of running into these injuries. And who was it today? It was Varane. Varane got a nasty tackle.
Yeah. I was
late
scared.
in the second half.
I don't know why he was even.
Is it intentional? It very well could have been. It looks kind of intentional. I think that the Forest players were getting a bit frustrated towards the end. I think that they were playing overly aggressive. And look, he stomped the shit out of his foot. I mean, there's no
ball had already gone.
But like you run into those risks. The further and further you go down the line, and the further and further you go in each competitions. If we beat West Ham, we're semifinals in the FA Cup.
Quarterfinals. We're going quarters.
Or quarterfinals into
FA Cup. Third round, fourth round, fifth round, quarterfinals, semifinals.
Right. So quarterfinals. Once you get in towards those types of positions, like the competition does get gritty. Everybody wants
to survival of the fittest. I mean, Forest didn't have anything to lose.
You run into those problems. Couple that with people that are playing 90 minutes 3 times a week. It's a shame that we didn't see all of the movement in the transfer window in January that we wanted to see.
That would have been good if we had been able to acquire what was really needed. So today, who was your man of the match for Man United today, if there was any?
That's a difficult one.
I'm trying to see if your man of the match matches who the fans said globally. They all said he was the man of the match. So I want to see
I'm looking at the lineup right now because now I got to think about it. I honestly didn't even think about it before now, which I probably should have. Let's see. Heaton had a great game. Martinez and Varane, I felt, played very well. Shaw. You know what? Just to mess with Joe, I'm going to give it to Fred. Fred, my man of the match. Scored the goal. Did a good job. Didn't let anything through. Very, very clean defensively. Build up was nice. We were able to keep the ball for long stretches of time through the midfield. So, Fred, Superman Fred, my man of the match.
Joe.
Clean sheet. I'll give it to Martinez again. No. Casemiro.
He had the header saved. Workers had the header saved by the Forest keeper. United did. I think, like you said, second half United woke up.
Second half was
the chances, the balls were coming in.
Yeah.
When I looked through all the chats, 90% of people said Bruno's man of the match.
He had a good game. He had a very good game. He plays on the right again, which I don't like seeing him play there. Not because I don't think he can do it. I thought he did fine on the right. It's just that we don't have anyone subbing for him in the number 10. I would have liked to see Bruno come off. Actually, maybe even have Palestri come in or something like that.
Why is that?
I just want to see him get his time off. You know what I mean? It's if we keep running Bruno back to back again, is the fatigue sets in and then he becomes injury prone, and that's the last thing I want to see for Bruno.
What did you guys think of Sancho's performance today?
Solid. Put in a shift. He was all right.
Nothing special.
Nothing special. It was nice to see him play. Ten Hag very much plays a Dutch style of football, which is you should be technically comfortable in any field position that we put you in. I think that's very clear for when Sancho comes into the middle, kind of occupies that space, couple of touches on the ball, nothing spectacular, but he doesn't have any major mistakes. Solid. How long did he even play? Was it 10 minutes? Was it more?
About 15 minutes.
Maybe 15 minutes. Yeah, so comes in, does okay.
Joe, what was your take on Sancho?
And before we move on to Joe, sorry, the reaction from the fans was nice as well when he came on. There was a nice little ovation for
Nice
him.
reception he got.
Yeah, very nice reception.
Joe, what was your take on Sancho?
Happy to see him get back on the pitch. Reception was good, especially, considering his mental health issues, whatever. Seems like he's a confidence player. He just needs more playing time. I have trust in Ten Hag because I saw him switching it up a little bit when Sancho came in. I trust in Ten Hag to develop this guy. I think he's in good hands. I think Eric is going to put him under his wings, and if Ten Hag can't do it, then I would imagine we move him on, because even though that's not what I would like to see, I know that kid's got he's got something, and I know he can put in the ship for Manchester United. I know he can be like a really good, one of our more important players moving forward. And of course, players don't dictate what the wage are. That's up to the agents. So. I just feel like he's just another victim of his wage.
Right.
We have a bunch of players like that in there. Harry Maguire being one of them. If Harry Maguire was 30 million pounds, right, nobody give a fuck. That he's so shit. But he's what? I don't know, 70 million plus.
80.
So
80. When you talk about purchase cost, 80.
Yeah. So people are gonna be more critical. Hopefully I see more, right? Obviously it's limited today, but I want to see maybe him over the weekend,
Against Crystal Palace. That won't be an easy game. Crystal Palace, they will come at us. They will come at us. As you can see, Crystal Palace, they are managed by an ex-Arsenal captain during the Fergie years. So he will do whatever he can to frustrate us, to make it easy for Arsenal. That's Vieira's team. He will make. I don't
give a damn about them, man. I think we can get at Crystal Palace, man. Okay. Casemiro's back.
It won't be easy.
Let's talk.
I'll take two.
It's not going to be easy. It won't be easy. But we're at home, correct?
Who they got?
Yes.
We are at home, which helps us out a lot. So
we're getting our fortress back.
I think the goal. The goal definitely is not conceding, right? It's if we can get out of if we can get out of the first half, or we can get out of the first 60 minutes without a goal, I would like our chances to go and win it. Hopefully we've already scored by then, but I think how we organize defensively against Crystal Palace is going to be extremely important. They're just fast guys.
They've got quick players.
They're not the most clinical. They're not, they're not they're definitely by no means the hardest competition we're going to come up against, but they're pacey. They like to be creative. They like to try to score goals from.
And that guy who took that free kick in the first game 2 weeks ago, that was that
motherfucker.
Beautiful. Honestly, part of me wants to believe that was kind of lucky. Like it was just like
that was lucky.
So cleanly. Like he's never gonna hit a free kick like that again.
That was just.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
He stashed the shit out of it. Like it was beautiful. It was. I'm not taking anything away. I just don't know if he could replicate it.
Right. But overall, I think I thought United did enough. They didn't need to overexert themselves to suspensions and injuries. They did just enough to get into the next stage. And we're in the finals, which is something we can rejoice about. I there's one thing getting to the finals. There's also win, but no one has thought about it's Newcastle. I was talking to a few United fans today. They were saying, "I wish it's Southampton." It's Newcastle, and they are playing some scintillating football. They don't concede a lot of goals. They do not.
They don't concede goals.
So that is not going to be an easy. It's not going to be an easy game. It's not like already in the bag, kind of. They will give their all. I can see that again going to extra time somewhere, somehow. But I would like it. I like us to do Well, in
It's
90
gonna
minutes.
it's gonna be a classic. It's
It's going to
looking
be a
like it
game.
might be a classic. Yeah.
Because Newcastle, they've been to finals 98 and 99, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But this is a new team. They've got money to burn, and this coach is doing well. He's really doing well.
They,
And
they are they are the best defense in the league right now, right? They've
yeah,
conceded the least amount of goals, and
they've only lost one match.
that's going to be that's going to be a huge problem for us. I mean, between now and then, all the games that we do have to play, that's one beast. But what I would hope to see against Newcastle is that we're able to play with our center backs on the half field line in their half with control of most of the possession, trying to put away chances and having Newcastle play on the back foot, which is they're comfortable there. I think that's they want to counter on people. I think that's how they score a lot of their goals. But overall, they want to be defense. They want to be as defensive and organized and clean as they possibly can be.
Right.
So our attacking, I think our attacking options are what give us a little bit of the edge there. It's I don't know who's going to play that game. It's a little bit too difficult to say right now. But
Right.
with Anthony, with Sancho back, with Rashford, I think that would be a front three that would excite and that we would have a lot of chances with. Maybe Weghorst makes his way into that squad. I'm not sure. I don't know if Garnacho makes his way into that squad either with the cup final. As young as he is did okay today, didn't wow anybody, but maybe he earns some minutes there. But yeah, it's just we have to get to the final first, and that's where I think a lot of the difficulties lie.
Right. Because before we even played that final, we got to play Barcelona over 2 legs. That is another game.
Twice. Leeds twice, Barca twice before we even get a chance to play in a final.
Right. So, but that's the season we have that is so congested. So I'm happy we have Sabista. I'm happy we have him, and at least it gives us more options in the midfield, and that's the good thing. I'm so happy we got that signing yesterday. I really am. I mean, because we really needed.
Yeah, major signing for us.
Major, we needed it. It was well done, and I hope he becomes an asset to us when he plays for us. I mean, he might be involved on Saturday against Crystal Palace. We don't know, but Crystal Palace will not be an easy game. Newcastle won't be an easy game. Newcastle have only lost 1 game this season. They went to the Emirates and got a point. They did not lose at Emirates. They got a result. They came to Old Trafford. They got a result, 1 point. They did not lose. They got a 0-0. The only reason they're not up there is because they draw quite a few games. That's the problem. I think they've drawn about 6, but they don't lose games. So, that Newcastle team, we got to be careful. So, I'm happy with the final, but I don't want to get too till we win the game. That's my thought. Any last thoughts?
Yeah. Just hope the team stay focused. Hope the team stays healthy. It's going to be a lot of games before we get to that final, but I think we can pull it through. I think we can pull it through. Right now, my number one concern is that Barcelona game. To be honest, Crystal Palace should be able to take care of them, but Barcelona, that's going to be the biggest game to me. Well, biggest game is going to be the final of February, but second biggest game of the month is definitely Barca.
Louis, any last words?
Only thing that can be said is Que sera, whatever will be. We're going to Wembley. Que sera.
That's all we could say.
Yeah, right. As a fan base, all we can do is enjoy it right now, my man. That's all we can do is just enjoy it.
There you go. I'll agree to that. I honestly agree to that. Let me do this quickly. So, where are we in